Let's get started with our first news. Dela Matilena says the Islam Makhachev fight will happen in October or November. While we already know that a fight between Islam Makhachev and Dela Matilena is inevitable since JDM's big win over Belal Muhammad, there's really been no official indication from the UFC regarding when the fight may take place. But during a recent appearance on the Grin Reaper's channel, JDM revealed that the fight will happen before the end of the year, and it'll likely happen in the United States. He said, "I think it'll be in the US, probably October or November. They were meant to have a Mexico pay-per-view, but I think it's all changed now. It's early October in Vegas." These comments align with what Ali Abdelaziz said in a recent interview with MMA Junkie. The Dominance MMA head also confirmed that the two will hopefully fight in October, November, or December, much like what he said back in May when JDM won the title. When it comes time for Makhachev to fight for the welterweight belt, the UFC reportedly has no plans to let him compete for an interim belt, even if it means stripping JDM of the title. As Ali told Mike Bond this week, Islam Makhachev will fight for a UFC title, not an interim title this year, 100%. While the MMA community is eager to see this fight, Juliana Pena revealed during her media day appearance this week that she thought Belal Muhammad got robbed when he and JDM threw down last month. "I didn't think Belal lost. I watched that fight and I was like, yeah, we got it, and he won. And then when they called it for the other guy, you know, kudos to him, but I thought Belal won. So I didn't really give him any pep talk except for the fact that, I'm sorry, my brother, you got robbed." The way JDM's coach sees it, Belal's been a pretty sore loser since the two fought on the UFC 315 card. During his own appearance on the Grin Reapers, he explained, "I was looking ahead. Like every interview I listened to, he never really spoke much about Jack. It was always about the ramifications of his win and where he was going to go next. I felt like he massively overlooked Jack. Now when he analyzes what's going on, he gives Jack no credit, just says he did the wrong thing. He did one interview with his bestie and Belal never mentioned Jack's name once in the whole interview, which annoyed me because he never shook his hand after the fight. I sort of wrote that off to concussion and being in a state after the fight, but you should shake someone's hand after a war like that. Do you know what I mean? You should share a bit of mutual respect," he continued. And then to not even give Jack any flowers post-fight, I feel like it's a really bad mentality to have, because he's not going to take away any of the mistakes he made. He just thinks he'll beat him the next day, the way he was supposed to this time. And between a Makhachev versus JDM fight, Tom Aspinall looking to return to action, and Alexander Volkanovski wanting to defend his belt, the end of the year is shaping up to be big for the UFC. Moving on to our second news, Dana White and Francis Ngannou respond to Jon Jones. Jon Jones is now interested in facing Francis Ngannou, and Francis responded on X. He wrote, "Instead of signing some petition, I'm going to need at least 205-page essays from Tom Aspinall fans around the world. Double-spaced MLA format. Convince me. My team will pick their favorites and get back to you eventually." He followed up with, "I'm hearing Francis Ngannou is still interested. Now we're talking." That's a real super fight. A clash of champions, not just hype. He held the UFC belt. I've defended mine for over a decade. Two kings from different roads. Not just one legend facing a mouth that's hot right now, but two real legacies colliding. That's the kind of fight that actually adds something special to my story. At least from my point of view. He went even further saying, "You clowns thinking Francis would be that much easier because of the ground game. Tom has no ground game either. In English, a black belt is like getting a participation ribbon." Francis then responded, "You take care of the UFC. I'll take care of the PFL, and we'll finally find out who's the king of the heavyweight division." The PFL CEO Don Davis posted a proposal. He wrote, "Winner take all, MMA best heavyweight of all time, Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones. If Francis wins, PFL and Francis split 100% of the event profits. If Jon wins, UFC and Jon split 100% of the event profits." Dana White reacted to Jon Jones calling out Francis and recently saying he would vacate the heavyweight title. Jon said, "And remember, you can't strip a guy like me at this point. I give up the belt freely." Dana responded, "That's crazy." The Jon Jones situation is a bit different now, right? Because Jon's been tweeting a lot about the fact that he's told the UFC his plans. He's ready to vacate the belt and all the rest of it. Dana said he's ready to vacate the belt. He said he doesn't care if you strip him, he would vacate it. Dana added, yeah, I've been busy. I haven't been keeping up with the gossip. He comes back. He's either back today or came back yesterday or whenever. He was in Thailand. So he'll be home tonight, and Tuesday we'll figure this out. If he doesn't fight, because he also called out Francis Ngannou, he said he'd rather fight Francis. The question was asked, what would happen if Jon came to Dana and said, I'll fight, but I won't fight Aspinall. I want to fight Francis. Would Dana even be interested in that? Dana responded, I don't have Francis under contract, and Aspinall is the guy. Would the UFC try to bring Francis back under contract? Dana said, probably not. Moving on to another big headline in the world of MMA. Alex Pereira has finally responded to recent comments made by Magomed Ankalaev. Now for context, Ankalaev recently suggested that Alex is done with fighting and is never coming back. That's right. In an interview, Ankalaev claimed that Pereira's days in the octagon are over and that fans shouldn't expect to see him return to defend or fight anytime soon. But hold on. Alex Pereira isn't letting that slide. Last night in an interview with UFC Brazil, the former champion had a few things to say. Alex fired back with confidence, saying he's promoting himself by saying my name. No one even knows he's the champion. So when he says my name, he appears a little. But I'm not responding to his provocations because I know it's just for promotion. I'll respond when the time is right. Let's break that down for a second. Alex is clearly not impressed with Ankalaev using his name in interviews. In fact, Pereira is suggesting that Ankalaev needs to mention him just to gain attention, and that without doing so, no one even recognizes him as the current light heavyweight champion. That's a strong statement, and not without some truth. While Ankalaev may hold the belt, many fans still associate star power and excitement in the division with Pereira's name, but that's not all. When asked about a potential rematch and if he would do anything differently, Alex didn't hesitate. He responded, some things will be different, but these are details. It's not like I have to retrain and change my game. No, it's the same thing, just correcting some techniques. This shows that Pereira still believes in his current style and overall game plan. He's not talking about overhauling his training camp or switching up everything. He's simply saying that in a potential rematch, it would come down to fine-tuning certain moves and sharpening key techniques. It's a confident, almost calculated response from a fighter who's been in big fights before and knows what it takes to come back stronger. So what does this mean for the light heavyweight division? Is Alex Pereira teasing a return, or is he just keeping the hype alive while he figures out his next move? One thing's clear, he's not done talking, and definitely not done fighting. Whether it's a rematch with Ankalaev or another high-profile bout, Pereira seems to be waiting for the right moment, and when that moment comes, he'll be ready. Until then, the mind games continue, and fans are left wondering, is Ankalaev the real champ, or is Pereira still the king in waiting? Let us know what you think in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates on this developing rivalry. Now moving on to another exciting development in the welterweight division. It looks like a potential showdown between Garry and Belal Muhammad may be in the works. Yes, you heard that right. Things are heating up fast, and it all started with Garry posting a fiery video on his Instagram. In the clip, Ian didn't hold back. He called out Belal Muhammad in typical Garry fashion, bold, confident, and straight to the point. He wrote, I believe Belal lost to JDM due to his ego, trying to stand and bang when he should have taken JDM down. Surely he won't try to stand and bang with me. Surely not. Now that's a strong take. And Garry is clearly sending a message. He's suggesting that Belal let his pride get in the way during his fight with Dela Matilena, and that it ultimately cost him the win. But Garry didn't stop there. He doubled down with a comment under the same post saying, he ain't getting past me. I'm going to box the ears off you because I'm the best in this division, hands down. Belal, learn from your last loss and never, ever, ever try and stand and bang with me. That's some serious trash talk. Garry is not only calling out Belal's fight IQ from his last bout, he's also warning him in advance not to try the same tactics against him. He's daring Belal to take it to the ground, almost mocking him, as if to say, you don't want this smoke on the feet. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Belal Muhammad fired back, not with a long post, not with a video, but with a short, cold message on X, formerly Twitter. I'll see you at MSG. That's it. No back and forth, no arguing. Just a quiet threat that says everything it needs to. MSG, Madison Square Garden, the iconic arena where only the biggest fights happen. If Belal's response is any indication, this matchup might already be in motion, and fans could be in for a serious war at UFC's next event in New York City. Now, let's take a step back. This matchup makes a lot of sense. Garry is undefeated, rising fast, and looking for a signature win to prove he belongs among the elite. Belal Muhammad, on the other hand, has been grinding for years, and he's been vocal about being overlooked. This fight could be the perfect storm. Two very different styles, two fighters with something to prove, and now a little bad blood to spice things up. Will Belal play it safe and go for the takedown, or will he try to silence Ian by standing and banging? Once again, whatever happens, this fight has fireworks written all over it, and if it's truly headed to Madison Square Garden, you won't want to miss it. Now let's move on to another major headline in the bantamweight division. Merab Dvalishvili has been making waves, and now he's speaking out about a potential rematch with Umar Nurmagomedov. That's right, after his latest performance and the momentum he's carrying, Merab is already looking ahead, and a rematch with Umar might be on the horizon. And get this, Dana White himself mentioned the idea during the post-fight press conference, saying that Merab running it back with top contenders could build a legacy like few others in the game. Merab responded to the idea, saying, he's there, and he'll keep racking them up, I'm sure. Umar rematch is interesting, you know? It makes your legacy even better when you run through everybody twice. That's a bold statement, and one that speaks to the mindset of a true champion. Merab isn't just trying to win, he wants to dominate again and again. But Merab didn't stop there. He went into detail about his most recent training camp and gave huge props to his teammate and longtime friend Aljamain Sterling. He said, "Let me tell you one fact, guys. In this training camp, my friend Aljo helped me so much. He didn't have a fight, he's getting married, he doesn't even really like sparring much, but he was sparring with me 3 times a week. And he was 2 times better than Sean O'Malley in striking. He wasn't even trying to shoot or take me down. That proves again that not always the best fighter wins. Sean got really lucky against Aljo. Now that is a heavy claim. Merab is suggesting that Sterling, who wasn't even in fight mode, was outperforming Sean O'Malley during sparring sessions. And that maybe, just maybe, O'Malley's victory over Aljo wasn't as definitive as some fans believe. But instead of holding resentment, Merab expressed nothing but gratitude. He said, "I'm grateful for my friend Aljo Sterling. I told him today, I have to split my bonus and give him half. That's respect, that's loyalty, that's Merab." Now back to Dana White's comments. He mentioned that if Merab sticks to his ambitious schedule of 4 title defenses this year and starts beating top contenders twice, it would be one of the most impressive championship runs the division has ever seen. When Merab was asked who the most likely rematch would be after facing Corey Sandhagen, he made it clear he doesn't care about names, he just wants to fight. He said, "No problem, I am the champion now, I just want to be busy. Whoever the UFC thinks is the most deserving guy, I'm fighting next. I love fighting, I'm just grateful. As long as some poor fighter doesn't disrespect me, I'm happy." That's Merab in a nutshell, humble, hungry, and ready for war. And if that rematch with Umar happens, you better believe it's going to be explosive. Stay tuned, because Merab's reign is just getting started. And finally, let's talk about one of the biggest stories in the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall has dropped a bombshell, saying that Jon Jones is retired. That's right, in a recent interview with The Independent, Aspinall didn't hold back, and he strongly hinted that Jon Jones is done for good. Here's what Tom said: "I want to keep my job, so I don't want to say too much. I've said what I said in other interviews and stuff. People think I'm joking, but it's the truth. I'm not the kind of guy to pull any media stunts or anything like that. What I'm saying is the truth. It will be announced pretty soon, as far as I'm aware." Let that sink in for a second. Tom Aspinall, the current interim heavyweight champion, is claiming that the man many consider the greatest of all time, Jon Jones, is officially done with the sport. Not just sidelined, not just injured, but retired. Now, of course, this isn't the first time someone in the MMA world has speculated about Jon's future. Ever since Jones tore his pec last year, fans and fighters alike have been wondering if we'll ever see him inside the octagon again. The UFC had hyped up a massive fight between Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic, which was supposed to be the defining moment of Jones's heavyweight legacy. But with the injury, and now this rumor from Aspinall, it's beginning to look like that fight may never happen. And remember, Tom has mentioned this before. This isn't a new claim. He's brought it up in multiple interviews, suggesting that insiders already know Jones has made his decision, and that it's just a matter of time before the public hears it too. And to be fair, Tom has nothing to gain from this. He's not a trash talker. He's not known for clickbait or hype. He's always carried himself with humility and respect. So when he says something this bold, it makes people pay attention. But what would this mean for the division? If Jon Jones is retired, that makes Tom Aspinall the undisputed future of heavyweight MMA. He's already holding the interim belt, and a retirement from Jon would mean he's next in line to be promoted to full champion. And that opens up a ton of exciting possibilities. Fights with Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Jailton Almeida, and more. But one thing's for sure, Tom Aspinall isn't backing down from what he said. He's standing firm, and he's saying it loud and clear. Jon Jones is done. Now the question is, will the UFC make an official announcement? Or will Jon respond and silence the rumors once and for all? Either way, I will be watching, because this story, it could change everything.